So Donald Trump and Bill Barr are now calling American cities names. New York, you're an anarchist city. Portland, Seattle, you're anarchist cities. Now, what are the legal implications of this juvenile name calling? Let's talk about that, because justice matters. Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. So Bill Barr's Department of Justice just issued a press release. And here's the headline of that press release. Department of Justice identifies New York City, Portland, and Seattle as jurisdictions permitting violence and destruction of property. And then Bill Barr goes on to call those cities names. New York, you're an anarchist city. Portland, Seattle, you're anarchist cities. Get off my lawn, you anarchist cities. You know, you can feel the desperation rising off of Donald Trump and Bill Barr. It's like a toxic steam. These are not men signaling confidence that they're about to win big in an upcoming election. You know, instead they're engaged in juvenile name calling of American cities, and they can try to withhold funds from these cities, but you know what's going to happen? You know, they can call New York an anarchist city. That's going to go to court, and they're going to lose that case in a New York minute. But Donald Trump and Bill Barr never seem to grow tired of losing in court. Think about it. They said, we are putting a citizenship question on the U.S. Census. And the courts said, yeah, no, you're not. They said, we are killing DACA. And the courts said, yeah, no, you're not. They said, well, executive branch officials have absolute immunity from congressional subpoenas. And the courts said, yeah, no, they don't. You're wrong about that. And Bill Barr said, well, at least I get to dismiss Mike Flynn's criminal case without Judge Sullivan holding a hearing to, look into my shenanigans. And the full appellate court said, yeah, no, Bill Barr, you're wrong about that. Judge Sullivan does get to hold a hearing to determine why in the world you're doing the president's criminal associate a favor, though. And Donald Trump goes in front of the Supreme Court and says, well, at least nobody gets to see my taxes. At least I'm above the law. And think about this, folks. Donald Trump's own draft picks, Gorsuch and Kavanaugh, ruled against him, along with other justices. They said, no, you're not a king. You're not above the law. And the prosecutors and ultimately the people can and will see your taxes and your financial records. Donald Trump and Bill Barr lose and lose and lose and lose in court. And this latest PR stunt, this juvenile name calling of American cities, will go to court, and as I say, they will lose that too in a New York minute. But here's what I like about this latest nonsense by Bill Barr, right? This juvenile name calling of American cities. It's energizing. Why do I say that? Well, first of all, Donald Trump's base didn't need to have Bill Barr calling cities names in order for them to decide that they're going to support Donald Trump. Donald Trump's base is all in with him. Through 200,000 dead Americans courtesy of Donald Trump, through children in cages, through, his family grifting off the sale of PPE, through Donald Trump's extreme racism, xenophobia, prejudice, sexism. They are all in with Donald Trump. They didn't need for Bill Barr to start calling American cities names. I really do feel like Donald Trump could sign an executive order saying, I am hereby deporting my base to Mexico. And they would say, that's genius. And then they'd probably ask for absentee ballots so they could vote for Donald Trump, from Mexico. But this kind of juvenile name calling of American cities energizes everybody else. It energizes Democrats for whom maybe Joe Biden wasn't their first pick. But now, they realize that they're going to have to crawl over broken glass and walk through fire to get to the polls, to vote out Donald Trump, and by extension, his lawless attorney general, his fixer, his defense attorney, Bill Barr. You know who else it energizes? Young voters. People who live in New York, live in Seattle, live in Portland, or maybe they have friends who live there. Maybe they go to school there or work there. Maybe they vacation there. Maybe they have an affinity for those cities. And Bill Barr and Donald Trump just labeled everybody in those cities. You are part of an anarchist city. Why doesn't Donald Trump just sign an executive order saying anybody who's not voting for Donald Trump is an anarchist? You know who else it energizes? Independents. There may be some out there who really are still debating on how to cast their vote. I know it's almost impossible to conceive of how anybody could be on the fence in the age of Donald Trump's lawlessness, but this is energizing. It's energizing. It does nothing to attract new voters to Donald Trump's base. It may actually peel away some of Donald Trump's support. Donald Trump at this point knows he's going to lose in a landslide. And basically what he is, he's a little boy sitting at a checkerboard. He's got one checker left, and he's about to get crushed by his opponent. So what does he do? Upends the checkerboard. That's all he's got left. He knows he's going to lose in a landslide. We know he's going to lose in a landslide. That's why he's slowing the mail. They just lost in court in a case involving Postmaster General DeJoy as well. He was enjoined from his shenanigans. But he's slowing the mail. Donald Trump is telling his voters to vote for him twice, commit felonies, right? He knows he's going to lose in a landslide. He's upending the checkerboard. And he also is going to go into court after he loses in a landslide. He will bring challenges in various jurisdictions where he lost. And you know what's going to happen in those court cases? He is going to get laughed out of court. Just like they lose everything else that they bring in court. He's going to get laughed out of court, and here's why. I've talked about this before. Donald Trump is the one who has created election chaos. Donald Trump cannot then walk into court and say he is a victim of election chaos. It's called the clean hands doctrine. It's called forfeiture by wrongdoing. You can't claim to be a victim of the problem you created. And that's why, just as in the census case and the DACA case and the executive immunity, absolute immunity case, and in the Mike Flynn case, and in the tax case, he will lose. He will lose spectacularly. And then I, for one, can't wait for January. Because come January, the hard work of justice begins. And justice matters. As always, folks, please stay safe. And I look forward to talking with y'all again tomorrow.